Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Devil's Advocate with Rosebud Baker. You know who I am. I'm Rosebud Baker. I am, first, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to the podcast and listening every week. You guys, those of you who have taken the time to rate and review the podcast, you've made a huge difference. There's it gets the visibility of this podcast up and also gets my mood up when I'm having a shitty day. Let's see, if you haven't left a review and you're loving the podcast, do me a favor, head over to iTunes, tell people what you love about it. And this podcast is also available on my YouTube channel, Rosebud Baker. If you want to tune in that way, you can subscribe on there, and you can get in the comments. You can say horrible shit about me. My confidence is pretty much unbreakable. So this is kind of a challenge to you. Except for the one guy that said that I had a haircut, the same haircut as a retarded kid he went to high school with. That did hurt my feelings. Now, if you're not familiar with the podcast, we do a segment at the end of this where my guest and I offer bad advice to listeners. The reason it is called bad advice is because it's bad. It's not good. You shouldn't take it. You should still listen to it, but you should never take it. And without further ado, I want to introduce today's guest. This person is one of my favorite people. I'm so happy that he's here with me. Him from Hot 97. He's very famous in New York. I've heard from him. And he is Puerto Rican, and today is the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And he's the only Puerto Rican I know who's funny. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I am so happy that he's here. He's family, and I love him. So, Cipha Sounds, everybody. Cipha, thanks for being here. I saw you roll your eyes at me.
I did roll my eyes at it. As you were speaking, I kept listing all the things I had a problem with.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Number one.
Yeah.
I'm totally confused on what this is. I thought this was a podcast with Keanu Reeves and Al Pacino.
I see. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I have to start telling people
Devil's Advocate.
Yeah.
So fine.
Can you imagine if I had a podcast that was just solely around one movie and I just tried to keep that going for as long as possible?
Such a good movie, though.
I only talk about Devil's Advocate, and that's it. Yeah. Okay, what's your next problem?
It's not really towards you, it's towards everyone. Everyone loves me as a person. They never say they love me as a comedian, and it hurts my soul.
Oh my God. I wouldn't have you on here if I didn't love you as a comic, but you're right. I should have mentioned
I know that. Theoretically, I know that, and it's fine. And then
you know what? I think.
Don't put me in the Puerto Rican box.
Oh my God!
Don't put me in the Puerto Rican box.
I'm not putting you in a box. All right, I'm putting you in a chest, a treasure chest.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't. I really am not. I just, as I was calling you, I was like, oh yeah, today was supposed to be the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and I saw that because I was on your Instagram. I think it's canceled. I think they're doing a march that's sort of standing in for the Puerto Rican Day Parade, but it's obviously not the same because that's New York's. It's the Puerto Rican SantaCon.
Yeah. That's hilarious. Hey, just people that if you want to follow me, it's at Cipha Sounds, Cipha. The reason why I like to say that in the beginning is because most people say it at the end, and if you decide you hate me halfway through, you'll never get to that part.
Right.
So at Cipha Sounds.
Even if they decide to hate you now, they can hate follow, and then they can kind of track and see if you grow on them.
My goal is right now you hit follow just because you're curious. And then as this podcast goes on, you realize you hate me, but you forgot you followed me.
Yes, that's smart. See, that's fucking smart, Cipha. This is the thing. There's no such thing as bad publicity anymore. All right?
No.
It's people are making it on I mean, listen, Candace Owens, she's a piece of shit, But is she famous?
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm really glad that you're doing this podcast. I've wanted you to do it for a long time, and you are one of my favorite comics. And you specifically, I was thinking, are like, it's interesting because I don't like or trust positive people, but you are a positive person who I really trust, and whose happiness I believe. You know what I mean? Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Like,
it makes 100% sense, but it's because it comes from large bats of negativity.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My positive energy is a learned, an adult, mature, learned behavior. It's not a natural.
That's what it
like,
is. Yeah. It doesn't come naturally to you. It's something that you've worked for. And I know that because I saw you go to Tony Robbins last summer. And, you know, I I gave you so much shit for that. But at the same time, I was like, I get it. Like I definitely had like a period of time where I was into Tony Robbins and all that, like, self-help stuff. And I think that's like one of those things where when you kind of take what you need from that and you move on and you kind of adapt it to your own life, you look back on it with this kind of like, I don't need that. But at the same time, it's like, that's what got you to where you are. So how much of a right do you have to shit on it?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's my whole life. My whole MO is taking pieces that work for me. That's why I'm not a really religious person. I'm not a political person. I don't follow one thing because it's like I can take a little bit of this and a little bit of that and tweak it to work for me.
Yeah. What do you think you take from the most? If there is one thing that you use to kind of like,
I know 100%. I know there's a couple times in my life where I count the before and after. Like I know the mark where I can say this was me before, this was me after. My therapist, after like maybe 2 years, she suggested this book called The Four Agreements.
yeah.
The main chapter she wanted me to read about the Four Agreements was don't take things personal.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what that meant. I thought if you're saying it to me, it's personal. I'm the person, you're saying it to me, it must be true. Literally, I read that chapter. It's a short book. It's very easy to read. From the beginning of that chapter to the end of that chapter, my life changed. I couldn't even fathom that people had their own issues, and that if like you could have a fight with your boyfriend or husband, wife, whatever, and then 1 minute later you see my face and your aggression from your fight you just had goes in that direction. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And what you want to say to the person you just had a fight with, you kind of find a way to say it to the person in front. I take nothing personal.
Yeah.
And
And that's so useful too in our business, because it's like there's so many things where, you know, you're hit with rejection all the time, you know, but it's like people have their own bias because they're human, and you can't take that shit personally because it really doesn't have anything to do with you. If you think about it, how many times in my life have I like snapped at somebody, not because of what they did or anything, but just because of some shit that I was going through. Like, and I try to think about that when I start to feel like, is this about me? Cause it's generally not. Like, you know, but on the other hand, it kind of is, because it's like, if I'm picking up on stuff or I'm fearful that I'm going to be rejected, it's also like, well, why am I afraid of that?
Yeah.
Well, so like, it's not personal coming from them, but if it's happening in my own mind, I kind of always try to look at what
but I'm not, no, by no means am I saying I'm bulletproof. Like when I get rejected, it hurts. I
Yeah.
still have feelings. I still, if you yell at me in the street, it still makes me feel bad. But when I call it my toolbox, right?
Yeah.
My therapist gave me a toolbox, and somebody crashes into me,
Yeah.
I can go in my toolbox, pull out the right tools, and fix the problem way faster than when I didn't have a toolbox.
Yeah.
And that's all therapy is to me. It's like she just equips you with some equipment to help fix some problems along the way. So it's like a
Yeah.
spare tire, a wrench, whatever it is, and you use that. But I can still get into a car accident. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, but
Yeah.
I just know how to get out of it. I used to be depressed for weeks at a time. Now I'm depressed for minutes, maybe on a bad day, hours. Like
Yeah.
throughout the whole quarantine, I did pretty good. And there was one day where I just crashed. And it
Yeah.
was like 20 hours of like in the dumps. And then finally I don't know what happened, but I finally got it out. And I was like, ooh, that was a rough one. That was a rough
Yeah.
one. But it's
Yeah.
over. It's gone. It's in the past.
I know. I had the same reaction last week because for the listeners, Cipha and I both did stand up for the first time in months
Yeah.
last week when we were when Che had his show in Long Island City, and it was amazing. It was like this incredible experience. You went up. I remember your face getting off stage. You just like looked like you were like looking around like I can't believe that just happened.
Yeah.
And then I went up and I was like, I got off stage and I felt the same. I was shaking and like excited and like I still had the nerves. And then I came home and I had the best day. I had the best fucking day. And the next day I got so fucking sad. And it's cause I was like, it was because I remembered how good it felt to do stand up again. And then,
Yeah.
who the fuck is at my door? I'm gonna let Andy get that. So I basically like right afterwards just fell into this depression and then immediately started to like I got myself out. I was like, walk outside, get in the sun, go do something. And I started to like get back to normal. You know, if I give myself a project or something, generally I feel better.
Yeah.
But you're still doing it, right? You're still, because you're right now in Ohio at doing shows with Dave.
Yes.
Correct?
Me, Michael Che, and Nimesh Patel. He's another comedian. We came out to Ohio. Dave. So the day we did that show you were just talking about in Long Island City, that's the same day Dave filmed that 846 thing that he just put out.
Yeah.
So the first day we did stand up in New York, it was the first day he did stand up in Ohio. And that space where he did that is now his little summer venue. It's like it's like a pavilion. It's an open field, and there's like this little pavilion, which is like, I guess like an oversized gazebo. And we did since we've been here, we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We did 3 shows, and it's like been amazing. It's been there's something behind you. There's something behind you.
It's my dog.
Oh, it's okay. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Oh my God, that's
like, I don't know what view you have. Maybe you don't see behind.
hysterical.
Because if you're on speaker view, we're on Zoom. If you're on speaker view while I'm talking, my face is up there, so you might not see that thing behind you.
I can't. That was amazing. Holy fuck. Wow.
But yeah, so we're out here. We did 3 shows, and it's been amazing.
What did you think was behind me? I just need to know what you thought.
Listen,
what you thought it was.
look at the screen. Look behind. It looks like your pillow came alive, like a couch pillow. Look at it right now. He's not moving, right? No, don't
You're
look
like,
at him. Don't look at him.
there's a black bear in your apartment.
A mini black, because maybe that was who was ringing the bell. And he just said,
Fuck, that was great. Oh my God. That was amazing. Oh my God. All right, sorry. I'm like recovering from that. Whew.
no, it's okay.
God damn. Fuck. What the fuck were we talking about?
Ohio shows.
Right. So you
But
guys have
the
done
thing is,
3 shows?
yeah, the shows are great. The shows are very fun. It's not about just the shows, like the hanging out backstage, the watching Dave Chappelle hold court on different things, and like last night he was emotional. It's me, Michelle Wolf, Donnell Rawlings, Mo Amer, Mesh,
Yeah.
Michael Che, DJ Trauma, then Matthew, who's like Dave's photographer, who takes all these amazing pictures, like family. And Dave was just saying, like, there's nowhere in the world, we can literally say nowhere in the world on a Saturday night, this is happening anywhere else. You know what I'm saying? And it was, and also like all us comics, you know, on a good day in New York, we could be around a lot of comics because that's where a lot of us live, or LA or wherever. But on the road, it's like the 2 people you go on the road with, maybe you bump into another comedian who's at a different club, and then that's it. This is like 10 comics or 10 people like all together. It was just amazing.
Yeah. How's Mo doing?
He just got here yesterday, so he was like, that was his first show last night, and he was a little shook, but then he killed it. He murdered it.
Yeah. That was the funnest summer I've had in, you know, I don't even know how long was last summer, when you, me, and Che were on the road. And I remember pulling over and Che going on this like manic shopping spree in like a custom t-shirt shop. And like we bought all these shirts. I still have my shirt and it says like, sounds gay, I'm in, or something that Che bought for me. And I remember we were like gonna be late. And where was it? Cobb's? I think it was Cobb's.
It was Cobb's, in San Francisco.
Right. And Mo was headlining at Cobb's, and we get there, and then Mo was like, every time you and I were talking, Mo acted like he was jealous. Like he was like, that was just like the most fun fucking night. And I remember eating like pizza fries or something. Like that's what I miss the most about comedy, is like, it feels like in the last couple of months, it almost feels like I was in a cult that the government broke up. And now I have no idea how to interact with the world or be in the world.
Because we didn't want to leave the cult. Like,
no,
they forced us. They broke it up.
Yeah, it's like a cult that they broke up. And it was like things were working out. Like we hadn't gotten to the point yet where everyone was drinking Kool-Aid ready to die, you know? Like it was it feels like the cult broke up and now everyone is just trying to learn how to live a normal life when we're not really set up to do it.
Yeah.
And it must just feel so amazing to like be back in that, to be back in the cult.
Yeah. What's that comedian? He's from Chicago. He has a bald head. Kyle Kinane. Is that am I saying his name right?
Yeah. I don't know if he's from Chicago.
I think so.
Okay.
I think he's from
Chicago. I didn't know.
But he has a joke where he says something about he ran into somebody and they look like an unpainted juggalo.
Yes.
A juggalo in real life is like, that's what we are right now. We're just unpainted juggalos trying to.
Yes.
until we get the gang back together.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I'm like, I keep, I got engaged and I'm like trying to think about, I guess I plan a wedding now. And I don't know how to do it. Like every time I sit down to try to do it, I'm like, I don't care about this. Like I'll go get married and I'll do that at City Hall, but I don't know how to plan a wedding, or like every time I try to make an appointment to like go get a dress fitted or something, I'm like, there's a podcast I could do and I'd rather go do that. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, if somebody can
Just
just
make it
send me a wedding
yours.
dress, then I'll do that.
You gotta just make it yours. You gotta make it yours.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
make it yours. It's for a lot of people cater their wedding to everyone else, their parents, their family, the tradition. Like you gotta make it yours. You
Yeah.
will like it. Just whatever you want to do, I do. Like if you want it to be something like this or something like that, then do that.
Yeah. See, I was thinking mostly, I was like, I want it to just be like a hang where comics come and can make speeches, and then we all dance and like hang out. And I was gonna ask you to DJ,
Yeah, of course.
and I hadn't asked you yet, but I asked you on the podcast. It's just like, yeah. So I was thinking about that, but we'll see. It's like, if we end up going on the road again at some point, then I don't know when I'll plan it or what the fuck is going to happen, but it'll have to be like thrown together, because I'm not that kind of person where I give a shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you've done 3 shows. Which of those do you feel like you've gotten back in the hang of things already? Are you like, I'm good, or do you still feel a little rusty?
I still feel rusty, but every day gets better. So first day, just trying to remember old, like, not, I don't even want to say old jokes, but jokes that I was working on right when this ended. And it's something weird about stand-up. Like I see like actors, like stand-ups who become actors and they're on a show for 9 months and then they go back into stand-up, and you're like, it's not that long. You literally forget your jokes. You literally like they go away. It's so weird. So I tried not to listen to old sets because I wanted to see how much I remember just on my own. So first day was that. I went up on stage, had the premise, I know the ending, and the middle was like mushy. And then the second day was a lot better. And then third day last night, I tried writing just for that show. So I wrote some new stuff and then did my material, and it was fantastic.
That's great.
And I didn't see the light, so I did like 22 minutes on a show where I was supposed to do like 12.
That's what happened to me in Long Island City. Rebecca was like 8 minutes, and I got off and I looked at my timer and it was 15. And I was like, oh fuck. But
whatever.
It's like you can't help it. It's like, it's been so long. But your background obviously is in hip hop, and you started at Hot 97 back in the 90s, right? When did you start at Hot 97?
November, the Monday after Thanksgiving, 1997.
Okay. And you were there for what, a decade?
No, 17 years.
Holy fuck. Yeah.
17 years. Like I never got a gold watch because a lot of those years I was literally just an Funkmaster Flex, my mentor, his intern. And then for years I was like considered what they call part-time. So I never got my 10-year watch at the job, but I was there for 17 years, like almost 6 days a week for 17 years.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Like almost every day a week, every day of the week in the week.
And when you left, how long was it before you got into comedy, or did they overlap?
Oh no, they overlapped. I started comedy in 2007. And I
Okay.
left Hot 97 in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was it that kind of like, because see, most of the comics that I know, when they got into comedy, it's like I'm gonna go back to the cult reference, but like, you know, when somebody joins a cult, they're always in a place of like kind of hopelessness. And I feel like it's not true in every case, but when people get into comedy, they kind of come into it from this place of like, I had nowhere else to go.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that's the case for you. I mean,
No.
because you had a great job and you loved your work. So I'm curious what brought you into comedy. Um, if it wasn't that, you know, like if it wasn't this place of like, I don't have anything to lose, so I'll
Right.
just try this, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I always say I had a different route. Um, so my thing was, I used to just say funny stuff on the radio. And then as I grew from just being a DJ, like a DJ just playing music, to then being like a radio personality where I was like the jock, like the person that talked, even if I wasn't mixing.
Yeah.
Um, I just used to do little stupid shit, like little pranks and like pretend to like hang up on a contest winner, but I really had them on mute. And they'd be like, oh no, they hung up on me on one of those tickets, like funny
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when I used to DJ in nightclubs, I talk a lot when I DJ. It's like part of my DJ persona, but I would crack little jokes. And
Yeah.
in hip hop, especially in that time, everybody was so macho and bravado and like, yo, I'm the best DJ in the world. I used to get on and be like, I'm the worst DJ in the world. And like, it would just get like I did this one time, I did this party and it was like a lot of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. And I was like, yo, I parked right in front so nobody would steal my radio. And like, that's a
Yeah.
hack joke.
Yeah.
It's a hack joke, but in a nightclub, it gets a laugh
Yeah.
where like it's not even the arena for that. So then what happened was everyone just kept saying I was funny. You're funny on the radio. You funny. Oh, Mr. Funny Man. So the hustler in me, the hip hop hustler, was like, why do they keep saying that? Like, I make my friends laughing on a road trip, but on the radio, like no one's even talking about my mixes. They keep saying I'm funny, and I had to realize I had something that stood out. That was different
Yeah.
than all the other personalities. So I was like, okay, the hustler in me was like, how do I make money off of this?
Yeah.
Uh, I'm gonna instead of, because I used to produce a lot of parties, instead of producing a party, I'm gonna produce a show. And
Yeah.
I got with some comedians I knew, and they helped me book it. And I got this club that was called Comics. And I was just like, if my crowd associates me with funny, maybe they'll come to my comedy show. And
Yeah.
first one, it was on a Tuesday. Once every time, sold out capacity, couldn't get another. But we used to take chairs and try to fit them anywhere, like fire hazard. And it was
Yeah.
the biggest thing in the world. And I was hosting I had a host at first. I would just go on stage and say hello to everybody and then turn it over to the host, or kind of like co-host. And then
Yeah.
just getting a little laugh, hearing all the comics talk backstage, asking, how do I get better? How do I do this? How do I do that? And it just started evolving. And after a year, some comics were like, yo, this doesn't really count because this is your crowd from the radio. Like, you need to go where people have no idea who you are.
Right.
Like, you're making a joke about something you said on the radio earlier today. Like,
Yeah.
and
So it's
so
like
now,
they're already gonna laugh because they know you. They're your
yeah.
fans. It's like, yeah.
And I never put a comic on the flyer because my audience just trusted me.
Yeah.
And like, I would like the first couple of flyers, I would put a comic, and then sometimes they wouldn't show up like comics do. So I was like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
not gonna put them on the flyer. And then packed every time, and just my audience just trusted me. But like, everyone used to come there. Kevin Hart used to come, Mike Epps, Patrice O'Neal, Tracy Morgan, and then all
Yeah.
types of rappers would be in the audience, and NBA players. It was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was an urban show I was just trying, because I used to put a lot of white comics too. I didn't like just one type of comedy, but it was technically an urban show.
Yeah.
Uh,
I
and
love seeing white comics try to do urban rooms though. Cause it's
oh,
like, if you, as a white comic, if you go do an urban room and you try to be anything other than your white self,
yeah,
you're gonna eat shit. Like, from my experience, like
yeah.
if I tried to go on stage and act like Christina Galston, I'm fucked. But if I go up and I start talking about my dog and I start to, if
Yeah,
I'm myself, it's the authenticity that is
yeah,
rewarded in those rooms.
for
And
real.
that's what I love about them is you can't go up, you can't lie to the audience in an urban room. They'll
Yeah,
pick it up immediately.
yeah,
So that's such good training as a comic to
yeah.
do rooms like that.
That was great.
Yeah. I
It
was
was great.
there's people, a lot of people this week have been like there's comics that have been called out for like old jokes that I'm talking about white comics have been called
Mm.
out for old jokes that were racist or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm watching all this and I'm just going, it's so well, it's fun to watch, but it's but but it's also like
Like
it gives
big
you an
comics, like famous comics, or like comics we like roll with.
comics that we don't really roll with, but comics that are big
Like
in
I'm talking
like the
about.
alt
Okay,
scene.
got it.
And it's so funny because especially with the alt scene, I feel like there's a lot of white comics that try to act like they satirize themselves. They're like, oh, they try to like pretend that they're not from money, and they
Mm-hmm.
try to distance themselves from who they really are by satirizing it.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing about that is it's like, if you're going to do satire, there you got to satirize something other than you,
Mm-hmm.
because by satirizing yourself, you're trying to bypass the shit that your own hypocrisy,
Yeah,
which is why, at least with my comedy, I try to go, okay, this is the truth about me.
yeah,
This is who I am.
yeah.
I come from money. My grandfather's a war criminal, and I was raised in off blood money.
Yeah,
So like I try to just address those things
yeah.
so that people know that I know where I come from and what my background is.
Of
Because it's like,
course.
and it's not easy to do that as a comic. It's not easy to say really where you come from or your background, because it's tough. It's tough to find
Yeah.
the humor in that. You
Yeah,
don't want
I
to.
still don't do it well like you do. I
I
still
think you
want to get better
do.
at that.
I think you
Mm.
do. You talk about your family. You talk about your background.
It's very jokey though.
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing, like, not to cut
But
you
it
off,
should be. It should
but
be jokey.
no, but here's the thing. I wasn't raised as a stereotypical Puerto Rican. I'm barely culturally Puerto Rican, but I have a lot of Puerto Rican-y jokes that were jokes for when I first started.
Right.
And then I should just get rid of them, but they're just great intro jokes, like starter
It's like
jokes.
it warms them up though. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but it's not true. Like 100%. Some of it is true. Like the way I talk about my family is the family I used to go visit every other month on a Sunday. It wasn't how I grew up in my house every day. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So
Yeah.
that's what I want to get better at. And I'm fine with making the joke, and then I'm gonna try to learn to say, I didn't really grow up like that. Here's how it really is. Boom, boom, boom. But so the
Yeah.
joke was to work, but you
And then
do
you
it
can
like
add
so.
on to
Yeah, like you say who your grandfather is, like you say crazy shit on stage. I'm like,
it.
oh, I gotta get to that. I gotta get to that.
I'm starting to get nervous about it because I did an interview recently where they asked me about him, and then they contacted him,
Ugh.
and I got a call from someone that works with him. I didn't even get a call from him. I got a call from someone that works with him. And it was like, hey, this is John, what's his face, and I work for your granddad, and I got a call from somebody at the Daily Beast, and I was just wondering what this is about. And I was like, like I freaked out. Because I forgot, I'm not in touch with that side of the family, so I forgot.
Wow.
What it is,
Yeah,
and
of
I was like,
course.
oh shit, this is fucking terrifying. I was like looking for a laser, like if there was like a laser on my arm or some shit.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh my God. But yeah, I think that's where the joke is like the fact that you weren't raised in a typical Puerto Rican household is like, that's where the jokes are.
Yeah, I've been doing it like a little bit lately, especially because all the stuff that's happening.
Yeah.
It's hard to, I know how to say it academically. Like if I was to be interviewed about who I am, I can say it. Puerto Ricans are of African descent, mixed with the natives of the island, mixed with white Spanish slave owners, and I can break it down. I just got to figure out how to make it a stand-up bit because nobody wants to do it. We're not at a fucking TED Talk here. We're at a comedy show.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, so wait, hold on. So what happened with the comics that are getting roasted?
Oh, there was an alt comic, and I won't name them by name, but they basically did this sketch that was like in 2016 about being a millennial. Mm-hmm. And the clip that came out was her singing. She's like a musical comic, and she was singing, and it basically it's her standing there with a noose around a black guy's neck. And
what?
And
a real black guy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so it ain't good. It ain't good. And I was like, I saw that, and I was like, I don't jump on other comics. I won't do it. It's not, I don't care who they are or what color they are or what race they are or what the joke is. I'm not gonna jump on another comic for trying to make a joke and failing. Like I won't do it. But it wasn't good. And and it was rough to watch because it was like this alt comedy scene where these are the comics that are PC and that are always talking about how it's like forward momentum and progress. And I'm like, if you're making that joke in 2016, it's like, that's ignorant. But I've made ignorant jokes.
Yeah, of course.
I have that joke about me and my ex where I talk about, somebody else being like, is it different to date a black guy? And I'm like, no, you can't take Instagram pictures in sepia tone because it looks like slave times. But that's, I thought of that joke first when I saw that, and I was like, yee. You think back to your own shit, if you're smart, I think you have to. But it's like we've all made jokes that somebody could find and go, this is a problem.
My radio show, when I did the morning show, 2007 to 2015, the show was called, the name of the show was called A Black, a Puerto Rican, and a Jew. That was the name of the show. Yeah. And the point of it was, in New York, there's so many different type of people. It's like the melting pot. Here's like an overview from 3 different points of views and 3 different types of people that are in New York. Latino, Black, Jewish, which he also played the white guy, even though when the race war starts, the whites are not taking the Jews. Come on, guys. And it was like, the entire first 4 years of that show were the news, we would watch the news, and then we would go, how do Puerto Ricans think of this, or Latinos? How do black people think of this? How do white people think of this? Comedy, it was an actual fact, but we said some crazy shit.
Yeah.
There's no way that would fly nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, it's funny because on the one hand, when you look back, that was like, you're trying to just address your differences in a funny way and kind of bring more, it was done in an inclusive way, you know, like it wasn't done in a way that was trying to, you know, I don't know, marginalize anybody.
Not at all. Not at all.
And that's the thing. It's like, when I look at like jokes that I've made, I none of them ever came from a place of like trying to make someone else a punchline. No. You know?
If anything, our whole show is about being inclusive. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's tough to explain that to people.
I know.
Now.
Well, it's tough because they automatically switch off when you try to explain.
Right.
They just glaze.
Yeah.
Their whole face just turns to glaze, and they're like, nope, I think it's this, and that's all I'm going to listen to. And I'm like, well, then we can't have a conversation.
Right. And it's so funny too, because like when I watched Dave's 846.
Yeah.
First of all, I must have watched that 4 times in one day.
Yeah.
I know you said he showed it to you guys before you went on, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck did you do comedy after watching that? I need to know like how the fuck, because I watched that and I was like, I don't know. It like fucked me up. I was like,
I mean, I don't know. I never go on stage. I'm not one of those comics that like, I have something to say that's going to change the world. Like, I like people that do that, but I'm not that. And I just like to make people laugh. And I think laughter is like the best, medicine, which is kind of cliche to say. But there was it's not how did we do comedy. It's like, we wanted to do comedy after that. Like we like, even Dave didn't really do that much on that day, because the day we were with him, not the day he shot that, because he wanted that to come out. And then, so he doesn't have to talk about it anymore. Like, every show doesn't have to be about what's going on right now, because he goes, I said it, I put it out. If you want to know my thoughts on it, here it is.
Right.
But it didn't come out yet when we were doing the show. So he didn't do much. He hosted, actually. Dave Chappelle hosted.
Wow.
Dave Chappelle brought me on stage, which is always the reverse.
Yeah.
And, it was so fucking cool. And we wanted to just represent him, in a good way. And everyone does a Corona joke, a what's going on protest, Black Lives Matter type of joke. And then we get into our shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So you get what you need.
Yeah. Yeah.
But also we did watch it early in the day. So we had a lot of time because I was tearing up in Dave's house. I was tearing up.
Yeah, me too. I don't think I'm glad you said that, because watching that as a white chick, I was like, don't you fucking cry. But it really, I did. And then I watched it again, and by the end of the day, I was like, I'm depressed. And I was like, I need to go for a walk. Cause it really affected me on just on a comedy level, and on a where we're at level. I was like, what, there's days when I'm like, is comedy even going to be necessary? And I know that's just fear talking, but it feels like that some days.
Absolutely. The person who spoke the most eloquently and the way that touched me the most was a comic. Like, that's how I know comedy's necessary. Like,
Yeah.
I watch, I've never watched more CNN than I have in the last couple of months. Don Lemon, Chris Cuomo, Anderson, they all say things very beautifully. Late night hosts say things great. But the way Dave said it, I was like jealous. I wish I could talk like that. I wish I could think like that,
Mm-hmm.
And I have some of the same thoughts, but they don't come out the same way.
Yeah. It's tough. I mean, the level of comfort that he has on stage is even just like when his fucking cigarette wouldn't light.
Yeah.
And he was just like fine with it. I was just like, I'd lose my shit. I would have snapped my cigarette in half. And then, you know what I mean? If I was in the middle of a profound fucking thing and my cigarette wouldn't light, my ego would have been like, fuck this.
But those things happen a lot, but they get edited out.
Yeah.
You shoot 4 shows, and in one of your shows, if that happened, they would just cut it out. That is a raw piece of material that's out there. Like, no edits.
Yeah.
It's like straight through. The people who made that are like Oscar-winning documentarians. Is that the right word?
I think so.
Documentary makers.
I think so. Yeah.
They live in this town. They live in his town, and they won an Oscar for their last documentary, and now they're doing this. Like,
yeah.
That's why, like, yeah. So that's why I like it too. It's like, it's pure.
Yeah. When he said that shit about how he got pulled over and let off with a warning.
Yeah.
The night before, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. It made me, I just like, it's crazy. I don't know. I feel like, and you've been really outspoken about this stuff. You've been really outspoken about the Black Lives Matter stuff. And I'm trying to be, I guess my question is like I'm trying to be outspoken enough about it without being, like my sister, I don't know. There's so many white women where I'm just like, you guys just shut up for a sec, just chill. You know what I mean? For a second, and like let other people talk. 'Cause it's like, we really excel at appropriating other people's struggles. And I am trying to like talk about it without being that.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to navigate.
It's tough to navigate, but it's also it's not anybody's job to show you how to navigate it. Like, you can't wake up from a lifetime nap and expect Black people to serve you the coffee. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be like hitting up your friends asking, is this right? Is this wrong? You know what I mean? Because it's like, figure it out.
I hate that, because also there isn't one Black playbook that every Black person has for when a white person asks them a question and they go, oh, I know the answer's on page 46, where you're looking for. Every Black person has a different opinion also.
Yeah, exactly.
So like, okay, let me call my Black friend. Maybe he can help me on what to say. But what he says is not even what his brother would say. Brother being actual mother, same father, not the way Black people say it. And like, or his cousin, his coworker. Like, there's not one answer.
Yeah.
Every single person will have a different. My opinion is way different than a lot of people's opinion. I know a lot of Black people who are 100% for the movement, but won't go to protests. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's not their style. So like, now you look at them like, oh, you didn't protest? Like, my life is a protest. What are you talking about?
Right.
So it's like, there's no, there's no one answer. There's no, everyone thinks like every Black person is exactly the same, and they open their Black person rule book. Oh my God, we're so sorry we didn't read your rule book. How do we handle this? Like, bitch, I don't know.
Yeah, fucking figure it out.
We're all trying to figure it out. Like, like there's this big thing, like everyone always, a lot of people quote Martin Luther King. I was more of a Malcolm X guy. Malcolm X and Martin Luther King had completely different views, especially in the beginning of their
Yeah.
careers. Um, and I was just more of a Malcolm X guy as a youngster. I've learned to appreciate Martin Luther King, but like I used to say on the radio, like, no, I don't agree with Martin Luther King. I used to say I'm more of a Malcolm X person, and people would call me, "How dare you? How dare you disrespect?" And I was like, do you know that Martin Luther King was treated horribly, like in New York? Like when he was like doing speeches, they used to treat him horribly. And then when he
Yeah.
died, everyone was like, "Oh, we love you so much." Like, get the fuck out of here, yo.
Right. And it's like
It's crazy.
when he was killed, like publicly, in such a public way, then all of
Yeah,
a sudden it was like this,
yeah.
uh,
Which is
yeah,
fine. Which is fine because it happens to everybody. Like, this is not related, but Bob Marley, who is the king of Jamaica and the emperor of reggae music, the people in Jamaica used to laugh at him. He had to go to London and become a musician that people love. And then when he blew up, Jamaica was like, "Oh, we love you, Bob. Like, you didn't love me 2 years ago."
yeah,
It always happens. It
yeah,
always happens.
yeah, definitely.
Um,
I mean, I've seen it happen even in comedy on very small levels where it's like
of
all of a
course.
sudden people blow up and everybody hates them. And then they blow up to another level and everybody loves them again. And it's like,
Mhm, mhm.
no, no, no.
Yeah.
You didn't like them on their way up,
Yeah.
and now you all of a sudden the jealousy, you got to hide your jealousy a little
Yeah.
better is like what it is. um I don't know. I think
Yeah.
there's I think this is this time, and I know I said that I feel like we I'm like I worry that comedy is not going to be necessary, and that is like a fear-based response. But have you had anything like that? Have you, like, do you feel like there's ever been a day during all this where you're like, I
Yes.
don't know if this is gonna happen
Of
anymore?
course. Like, here's how I look at it. There's, your brain has, I don't want to get into like Freud, but there's those three parts: the id, the ego, superego, all that stuff. Personally, everything we knew went away. So, like, and then it's like, will they open venues again? Will we ever do, like, sometimes we get to do the shows where there's thousands of people. Like, sometimes I go on tour with Dave Chappelle, and it's like, right before this hit, we were in Amsterdam where I think there was like 12,000 people. You know what I mean? And sometimes we do shows for 50 people. It doesn't matter. Okay, the 50 people I can see happening very quickly. The 12,000, who knows when that's going to happen?
Right.
Um, Maybe never. But then I start becoming a logical person instead of like an emotional person, and go, there have been pandemics before. There was the Great Depression, there was the Spanish flu, there was uh, other smaller things that happened, war, and like there was pandemics before where people masked up and stayed away from each other, and then I don't know how many years later, but things went back to normal, to the
And
fact where,
comics were able to perform.
yeah, everybody.
I
And
wonder how I wonder if there were comics during the Spanish flu that were like
I
that were
don't
like,
know.
let's get a mic going or something.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee there was musicians playing music in the street.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
comedy is like a kind of newer art form, the way we look at it. uh there had to be, like, you can get an acoustic guitar and a drum and play, you
Right.
know
Right.
um and that's what it is. And so then, I get depressed and like, what, you know how people always talk about the comedy bubbles bursting?
Yeah.
This was a comedy bubble that burst, but in a way different way than, like, when they always talk about
Than
like the
any of us
90s.
expected.
Yeah, like everyone was getting a TV show, and then like Ray Romano and Seinfeld, and then the bubble burst. So then everybody was back to struggling. And you hear
Yeah.
Louis talk about stories of he had to like ride his motorcycle just to get any gig in like a Chinese restaurant or something.
Yeah.
Um, And then this burst is different, where I think a lot of people who were trying it and they left New York because of the pandemic, and they weren't even really in it to begin with. I think it'll filter out. There'll be a lot less people
Yeah.
doing it. And
Yeah.
that's not us. That's not us.
And
We're gonna do it no matter what.
yeah, I wish there was something else I was good at. I've
Oh,
thought
that's a
about I've thought about that. Like I'm like, God, if I could just like be a fucking like zookeeper or something,
yeah.
I would just go
Oh, I
like
would be
feed
a
hippos in San Diego.
yeah. I definitely want to. When all this is over, I'm definitely gonna get my CDL and just
Yeah.
like, cause I love being on the road. I love traveling. I was like, I'll just drive a truck. Like that's
Yeah.
something you can learn. It's
Yes.
something you can learn. I can still
Yeah.
go yeah, like just in case. But here's
Yeah.
the thing. Um, the thing with me is I'm not a flashy person. I'm pretty good with my money. Um, I bought a house when I was 24 years old
Yeah.
from all my DJ money. I still have the house. I don't live in it. I rent it out. But I bought that house because when I was a kid, I was like, I never want to be homeless. So let me just buy a house. And if I could just make that 2,600 monthly payment or whatever, like I'll be okay. I won't,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
like all this shit happened. I was like, do I gotta go live in Hackensack? Like, but it's looking like I don't have to, but I always been like a prepared kind of guy. And that's the thing. Like you were asking me earlier about being positive. Like I just, I, things get me emotional. I get upset, and then I have to like calmly talk myself into, well, what else would I rather be doing? Would I
Yeah.
rather take would I rather take the shit of something I love than be on top of something I hate? And then
Right.
I just go, okay, this is what it is. Let's try it again. This didn't work. Let's try this. This didn't work. Let's try that.
And I think that's the benefit of what we're going through right now. It's like, yes, it when you wake up and you watch the news and you read Twitter, you might as well be eating glass for breakfast. But I think eventually, if you have the kind of spirit that knows how to maneuver shit, that knows how to, you can there's references. I've been through enough already. I
Yeah,
know I can make it through this. I just
100%.
have to take this the same way that I took every other challenge. It's like one fucking day at a time, one step at a time. And and it becomes so important to master your own mind and your own thoughts. So
Hmm.
um so at the end of this podcast, because we're nearing the end now, I always do a segment called Bad Advice.
Hmm.
And I went to Instagram to see if anybody had any bad advice, any questions for some bad advice.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
so okay, this girl, my boyfriend's roommate is in love with me
Hmm.
and I can't make him stop flirting, texting, etc. What do I do? And we're gonna give her some
Okay.
bad advice.
Right. My boyfriend's roommate, so she doesn't live there.
Yeah.
Um, I would say like I would pop in that movie Love Actually, because there's a similar situation where the best man was in love
Hmm.
with his best friend's new wife,
Yeah.
and I believe they make out, right?
Yeah.
Um, I
Yeah.
would, because look, a guy is just a lot of guys are just into the chase. So just
Yeah.
let him win 2-3 times,
L-
and he'll just start leaving you alone.
Hey, let him win 7 or 8 times. I say
Yeah,
just go for it.
yeah.
See what comes out of it. You might have yourself a second boyfriend.
And make it awkward. Like when
For
you
sure.
go over there, make it
For
awkward.
sure. Yeah. I would say stumble out of the shower, drop a towel. Who knows what's gonna see what happens, you know? And let this guy win the chase. Let him fucking catch you.
Because nobody wants the game is the coyote always chasing the road runner. If he catches it, the show's over. So if you want it to be over, just let him win.
We're basically like, hey, we know you don't consent to any of this, but just try it. Just try it out. So that's your bad advice segment, everybody. If you are being pursued by your boyfriend's best friend, give him some pussy. See what happens. Ciph, do you have anything you want to plug?
Is it just one bad advice?
We could do another one if you want.
One more.
All right, we'll do another. Let's see.
One more, because there's no shows to plug. So there's no shows to plug.
Okay. All right. This is there's some good ones here. I'm 26 and have never ever had a sex drive or felt horny. What should I do? I'm defective.
Girl or guy?
Let me check the profile.
26,
girl.
Never had a sex drive. I wonder if she still likes sex, but just doesn't have that oomph to go after it all the time. But when she gets it, it like feels good.
I've never ever had a sex drive or felt horny. What should I do? I know you're a woman. So this is a real toss-up, and it is very bad advice. But I'm going to suggest that you get your hands on a Viagra prescription and see what happens.
What do you mean, female?
That's
or
what
like male?
It's
just
a woman.
Right.
I'm going to say get yourself some regular Viagra, male Viagra, and
take it.
Because if it works on you, there's a chance that you were born with a dick and you lost it.
Oh, or maybe maybe like her twin that died in the womb took two dicks. Took her dick.
I mean, we're making up a twin at this point. We're literally making up a twin that might not exist. But I think if I was 26 and I never felt horny and I'd never even wanted to, I'd just try popping pills.
Yeah, I'm going with you have a superpower. You know what I'm saying? Some kind of superpower. And there has to be, I don't want to say Professor X, School of Mutants or whatever it is, but there's somebody out there who wants to study you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So you could probably get paid off of this. Because you probably have something in your system that you could sell to men for when you go to work, from 9 to 5, you pop this pill or you take this mist. So I'm not horny at work.
Oh my God, that's a great idea. Yeah, what you need to do is submit your body to science.
There it is. And that's how you say it.
Get them to fucking grab a hormone out of you to stop workplace harassment. And there you have yourself a Nobel Peace Prize.
Yeah, you just got to figure out how to find that person.
Agreed. Yeah. You got to contact the CDC. You can tweet at them now. They're on Twitter.
Yeah, they're not busy right now.
They're not busy at all. Let me tell you something. If they are busy, they're not working that hard. So get out there, talk to the CDC, get your hormones bottled, and fix the Me Too movement.
I would take that. I know you would. Don't understand. That is a little, a tiny little monster that's just always crawling around our brain. And you're in a meeting with somebody who can to make or break your career, and you're she bends over to grab a pen, and you're look at those titties.
I mean, literally, Ciph, we were about to go on stage, for the first time in months, and you were like, that girl over there has a nice upper face.
Oh yeah, that's
Like she was wearing a mask, and you got distracted because you, for the first time going on stage in months, and you were like, that girl's got a hot upper face area.
She got a cute upper face because she had the mask. And I was like, oh, she got a cute upper face. Love it.
That was great. That was great. And I remember going on tour with you. You you were so into what you described as Midwestern, vaguely Jewish women. You said vaguely Jewish.
I love playing. My porn category is homemade geeky nerd girls. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, you need to actually you need to like open up your own porn website, because I don't know if that's like a category that is easily met or easily searchable.
Yeah, there's not a lot. It's not like other things, you know. It's not a lot. I should start that.
Yeah.
Because they're out there. We gotta go. I know this is over. Just real quick, maybe you give me some bad advice. Okay. Like technical people make dating apps, right? Like nerds make the technology to create Tinder and Bumble and Hinge.
Yeah.
But then nerds don't get girls or guys. Like, why are nerds not making a Tinder for nerds, for other nerds?
First of all, I don't think you're right about that. I don't think you're right that they don't get girls. Because if you look at like Silicon Valley,
I'm not talking about them.
Drowning in pussy.
No, not those, not the rock stars.
But those are the people that are making apps.
I know a lot of nerds that there's a guy, I can't say who he is. He's a friend of mine. He's like my hacker. Like anything I need computer wise, he helps me. But he loves like blonde TV actresses. And I'm like, right, yeah, that's me too. You can always look at that. But why don't you create an app where there's a girl who's not that, but also wants to get it popping, and you can search them, because I'm sure they don't get a lot of love on the swipes, you know?
Right.
That's just
right. So it's like
I don't know.
You're thinking like farmersonly.com, but it's for virgins. Yes.
Why not?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe their lack of belief in themselves in that department transfers over when they have to combine it with their technical skills. You know what I mean?
But they there's so many people. They probably don't realize how many people there are like them.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, because that's again, if we're going back to the 4 agreements and like Zen and all that, your belief in yourself, it affects all areas of your life. If you don't believe that something's possible for you, you're not going to, even if you have all the skills necessary to make it happen, you're not going to see that you do. So you're going to die with a dry dick.
All right. Hey, at Cipha Sounds, that's my Instagram. Everything you want to find out about me is there. Hopefully we're going to get back on the road soon. So come see us live, and really appreciate you having me on here, Rosie.
Yeah. Thanks for doing it. It's great to talk to you. I missed you. I miss my fam. You guys, you can follow the podcast at devilsadvocatepod.atc on Instagram. Please rate and review it on iTunes, and you can follow me at Rosebud Baker on Instagram, Twitter, all that jazz. Thanks again, Cipha. I appreciate it.
Oh, you can't say all that jazz. That's racist.
Oh, shit.
You can't say that. What's wrong?